What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, I'm going to be spotlighting Shadow Sand Attack Flygon in the Fantasy Cup. The main reason that I'm going to be trying out Sand Attack here today is because recently we saw Tinkaton get completely buffed. It's an insane Pokemon, right, with Gigaton Hammer. It's one of the best Pokemon in the entire meta, and I think Sand Attack gives you a lot more consistent fast attack pressure than Mudshot did. You're a little bit slower to reaching charge attacks, but that doesn't really matter. You're still pretty spammy here, and I think Shadow Flygon, with the amount of damage it can put out, is going to be a very fun pick. I'm going to pair it up with Empoleon as well as Togetic. I feel like this team's going to be pretty strong. Real quick, though, before we get into the battles, I want to ask if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It helps out quite a bit, and I'd really appreciate it. But let's get into the battles and see what Shadow Flygon can do. Alright, we got our first opponent of the day. We'll see Shadow Flygon up against Doublade. Now, we are on Sand Attack, so that's a lot more fast move pressure, a little bit less energy generation. We'll see if they stay in or not. Because honestly, it's probably not terrible for them in the 0s and 1s, but in the 2s, I bet I just farm all the way down. They do stay in. They're going to go for what is almost certainly going to be a Sacred Sword, but I can shield this up, and I can whittle this down as much as we need to make sure it's not going to be that big of a threat for our backline. Okay, I'm at least going to bait a bigger move, because Scorching Sands would one-shot them from here. Sand Tomb, not exactly known for its damage output, but Shadow Flygon is much more offensive than a Pokemon like Fortress, so yeah, we actually guarantee his shield there pretty easily. They're at 4, so they're completely energy dry now. 5 more Shadow Claws to reach a Sacred Sword. Hopefully I can farm all the way down before they get their next move off. If not, then I'll throw a move at the last second. But I think we do farm down, and we'll have a lot of energy for the back line. Yeah, we do. Not the most comfortable farm down of my life, but we do get it. And in the back, we're going to see, I believe that's a Tinkaton that just came in. Not terrible. We have access to a lot of ground-type damage here, right? And again, while Sand Tomb is not the best move in the game, it is going to do a lot more damage from a Flygon than it would from, the catch on Giratina. Interesting. It does a lot more damage than like a Fortress throwing a Sand Tomb, right? So that's why it's very, very good, I think, to have as a move. And in the back, we do see a Giratina. I have a Togekiss here. We got a Sand Tomb debuff against them, so our Fairy Winds are actually doing a remarkable amount of damage. They threw after 6, so probably an Ancient Power coming through, but I'm fine no matter what they throw here. Even a boost probably doesn't help them out too much this game, although I'm sure they wouldn't be too upset if they got one, right? They'd be fine getting a boost. We'll guarantee a shield or a knockout with a Dazzling Gleam. Psyshock would be nice here, just as an easier way to finish this off, but maybe, honestly, Heat Wave could be enough if I, wasn't crazy. But I think we just CMP here anyway. Yeah, probably should have just double Heat Waved, but at this point, Tinkaton, it has to go for a Gigaton Hammer to knock out Togetic from this range, right? I don't think a Bulldoze would be quite enough. I guess maybe after some Fairy Winds it would be, but even still, I have an Empoleon in the backline. Easy win. Next opponent, we'll see Shadow Flygon into Shadow Flygon. Okay, well, kind of dependent on what their fast move is to see how this is. I think Sand Attack is the worst fast move for the mirror match, because I'm always just going to get outpaced here, and I don't love that, but I can catch a move on my Togetic. I think they went right on 5, so that is either going to be a Sand Tomb or a Twister. I would imagine a Twister to guarantee a shield. Yeah, so we're not even debuffed. They might come in with a Steel type, though, which wouldn't be great. Or they just stay in for a second to try to build up more energy for the backline, which makes some sense, I guess, but they do give me a decent amount of energy here on my Togetic. So that's good. But they did build back up to his, like a Twister or a Sand Tomb. So we'll see how it's going to play out later on. 6. I don't love that they're building up extra energy here, but it makes a lot of sense for them to do that. I will at least chip them down quite a bit with this. It won't quite knock them out, though. 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, I think the play here is actually pretty obvious, right? We can shield this up, because even a Togetic at this HP range is pretty hard to knock out for a Flygon. So I can shield this up, I can swap out now, catch a move on my Empoleon. And now, if they want to stay in to build up extra energy, then I can just try to go for a farm down. And if they swap out, then at this point, Empoleon hasn't done all that much this game. We do see Flygon come back in. That's only 5, right? I think that's only a Sand Tomb, although we were talking about how Sand Tomb does do a decent amount of damage. Oh, okay. I guess there's some synergy with Twister that makes it so you can actually reach that. Never mind. I'm slightly bad at this game. It's fine. We're actually not that bad. We're still in a pretty good spot here, where I can throw a Heat Wave. And by the time they come in with the Empoleon, hopefully I can just swap into my Flygon and Sand Attack down. I hope they don't have their own Fairy in the back. That would be cheating. Okay. They're waiting to switch clock down. Okay. Yeah, not terrible to see this, because I have a Heat Wave in the back line. And having that Heat Wave should allow me at some point to knock this out. I am a little bit worried about, like, a catch at some point this game. Oh, they let that go? I mean, I might just farm down then. 7. All right. I mean, my fast move pressure here is just shredding. So we'll see exactly how they play this out. 2, makes sense to bait. 3. But I think that I'm still outside of a range where a Bulldoze knocks me out, even after the Fairy wins, at least for a minute here. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. That's the name of the game. 4, 5. I think I survive a Bulldoze. I am a little bit concerned, though, that the Empoleon is still very much a factor this game. Yeah, I might lose. Although, hold on. I can just bring in Togetic here. I might still win? I don't know. It's going to be so close. If the Fairy wins, or the Metal Sounds rather, knock me out before I get to another move here, then we definitely lose. We don't get knocked out just yet, so I do knock out the Empoleon. Can't quite Fairy Wind down, so it's going to come down to, in the very final seconds of this game, if I can somehow Fairy Wind and Sand Attack down the rest of that Tinkaton. And I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to just barely Fairy Wind me down here. Yeah, that's a close one. I made a good catch, but the backline wasn't amazing for Togetic. Well, we probably had a way to win that one. I didn't find it. All right, next game. Shadow Flygon. Hopefully we get a not mirror lead. I hate the mirror. I like Turtonator, though. We have a lot of play against this. Depending on their moveset especially, like, I could technically be walling them in just a second with, like, my Togetic, depending on what they have. 5. Okay. So Weezing comes in. Another thing kind of weak to ground-type damage, right? I could have swapped out here, but I don't know exactly what they want to do. If they shield that, then I switch. I think a non-Shadow Weezing can't one-shot us with Overheat. So... do I no-shield? I'm going to no-shield. It could be a terrible play. Yeah, I mean, we survived that. And, I mean, I think we survive another Incinerate here if they come back in Turtonator. So not only should I land this Hydro Cannon here, but I should also be able to potentially get a Hydro Cannon off into the Turtonator. They will get 2 Incinerates, though, which I think is honestly fine, because that's only going to be a Brutal Swing of energy. I don't know their moveset. They could be on Overheat. They could be on Brutal Swing, Dragon Claw. They could be on Flash Cannon, too. I haven't seen too many of those, but I know that is also an option. I'm going to wait down my Switch Clock, because I did desync it a little bit. But I think at this point, this Turtonator's been whittled down quite a bit. I should be in a pretty good spot, depending on what's in the backline. And they are staying in here, so I think they must be a little bit scared of Flygon. I'm going to shield this. If it is a Brutal Swing, then I'll throw immediately on my next attack. It's a Dragon Claw, so we can overfarm a little bit. Okay. I don't have a hard answer to this. Could be a bad play to desync the Switch Clocks, but I don't think it's that bad for us, because if I land a Sand Tomb, then they're going to be debuffed. Ozu's going to take quite a bit more damage from my Togetic. And even Ice Beam doesn't one-shot us here, if they do have it. Which I don't know if they do. Do Azumarill commonly run that move? I've been playing this meta for like 4 or 5 days now, and it still is just up in the air on what the Azu moveset is. They shield that. Maybe I should have baited there, because, I mean, that's a pretty obvious shield at that point. Let's see what they're going to throw. It is Ice Beam, but honestly, I'm fine with that. Okay. We just overfarmed there a little bit, and that should put us in a pretty good position now. Because I should be able to land a Gleam and then a Sand Tomb. Or maybe what I do, actually, is I store the Gleam, then I bring in the Flygon here. That way, I force them to throw 2 Ice Beams against my Flygon. I get more Sand Attack damage. And I do have that Dazzling Gleam, so if I ever just land a move here, it should be game over against them. If they do knock us out before my Sand Tomb, though, it could be a little bit scary. We go for a CMP. I guess we got it there. That was unnecessarily risky, but it's also not really that much of a risk when I have my Gleam in the backline anyway. Yeah, we should have this pretty easily. Azu, it's a good Pokemon, right? But it's not like... it's not that good. It's not a good Pokemon. We hate Azu. Heatwave it? That's a good point. That's a good point, you know, just for fun. Just to prove how bad Azumarill is. We're going to Heatwave it for the fans. It's not a good Pokemon. Don't run Azu. Don't run this Pokemon. Also, don't try this at home. Don't Heatwave Azus. It's generally not a good play, but we'll do it this time. Shadow Flygon into Shadow Flygon. I guess everyone loves Shadow Flygon just as much as me. We'll see what moveset they're running. It is on the Mudshot variant again. Okay. I'm going to try to catch my move. I do get a catch here. That's pretty nice. The big problem, though, is, like, I do catch an attack, but they likely have Steel Tips in the back with Flygon. Twister, okay, so they don't debuff us. That's nice. Weezing comes in. Shadow Galarian Weezing, that is. I wish I was on Psyshock for this part, but Heatwave's still 2 shots, so we're going to force some energy out of him. And I did waste a lot of energy from that Flygon earlier. Twister, okay, or rather Heat Wave, not quite a two-shot, but it does still do a lot. 10, and they CMP us. That's a smart CMP, actually, so they're at 5. I think I have to no-shield this. As much as I hate to say it, I think that is the play. And I can bring in my Shadow Empoleon here. 9. Alright, I swear if they bait us, I'm gonna be so sad, but surely they don't bait us. They bait us, which is bad. So I have to throw energy. That's a really smart bait by them, because it forces my hand so hard with my Empoleon here. I can't risk it. I just can't risk what they're gonna do to me. They might even be on Brutal Swing, and I didn't have to do that, but it's hard to say. Okay. I don't think that's terrible to see. My sand attacks have done quite a bit of damage here, actually. Okay. Okay, maybe there's some play. It's gonna be scary, though, because Sand Tomb does hurt quite a bit. But they're staying in. That's also kind of interesting. I'm happy to land a Shadow Sand Tomb here, although I wish I had, like, a Scorching Sands. Maybe they think I do, though. No, they do no-shield that. Let's knock this out, or get a shield before they can throw their next move. What do? They do shield, so they have the Sand Tomb. This might be insane, but I'm gonna let this go. I think it's what I have to do. I hate to say it, but I think I do have to just let that go. Because I should be able to just outpace everything this game. I should always be one Metal Sound ahead of them before they get to their moves. And I don't even know if they have Sand Tomb here, because they went for... Okay, well, they throw right then when they could be at a Sand Tomb. But I think I'm fine. I think I'm fine. We shield this up. It is a Sand Tomb. As long as they're not one ahead of where I think they are, then I should outpace this. And the Fortress, unless it is able to two-shot us with Volt Switch, I should be able to outpace it. And Hydro Cannon that as well. If I can, that's massive. But if they're 2 away, then they win. Okay, okay. You know, I'll take it. That was not the most clean win of my life, but I think I did have to play pretty well to win it. Empoleon's just kind of busted. There we go. We knock out the Fortress. GG's. Next opponent. Oh my. 29.99. I feel so bad for them. They're at 29.99. I don't know what to do. I mean, we'll try to win if we can, but like, I've been there. I know the pain of 29.99 gaming. And honestly, this is a pretty good spot to be in so far. We have Heat Wave for the Fortress if it comes back in. We have Togetic just in general for Altaria. Sky Attack doesn't quite two-shot us as well. So, like, this is just such a miserable matchup for Altaria. We'll Gleam them. They're likely going to try to no-shield this and hope that I'm on Psyshock. But this right here is where it really helps to have Dazzling Gleam. Gleam. Oh, it gets a shield. That's even better, actually. I'm not going to shield this. I'm not in a spot where I need Switch as much as they do. Even Empoleon into Fortress is fine. I can win the zeros there if I have to. And they have to go down 2 shields if they want to try to flip this. What do? They do double shield. All right. I don't think they can Dragon Breath down. I'll get to a Dazzling Gleam beforehand. Oh, man. Dude, I feel for them so much right now. I feel so bad for them. Like, I feel so bad right now. Because they are 1 game away. No, dude! I was actually going to top left for them. I was going to pay after them. But they didn't want it. They didn't want it. I feel bad, though. I hope they get it. Alright, next game. Not quite a 29.99 battler, but still pushing for Legend. And we do get another good lead here. We'll see what they're gonna do if they stay in or swap out. I mean, they can't really stay in unless they're super weak to us. Wow. I'm actually taking so much Force Palm damage, I probably shouldn't be staying in here. But I am, so... I don't know. I should probably switch, though. We'll bring in Togetic now. 4. Wait. Like, that's only a Thunder Punch or Aurasphere. Aurasphere. Okay, we catch the Aurasphere. They should be 5 away from... We're just not going to get, like, long battles today, are we? Okay, alright. GG's. Alright, next game. We'll see Shadow Flygon up against Galarian Stunfisk. Pretty good lead. They likely switch out. We'll see if we have a counter swap to whatever it is. Or they stay in, which is also fine. We'll go for a Sand Tomb here when it could be like an Earth Power or a Scorching Sands. But I feel like if I'm on Sand Attack, it's a pretty big tell that I'm probably going to be on Sand Tomb instead. Yeah, so they do no shield. That makes sense. But I mean, my Sand Attacks hurt quite a bit. So I can shield this up. Even a bait here doesn't really help them the longer this goes on. Okay. We'll go for a dirty play, where we catch an Earthquake, because surely they don't bait when they're at like 1 HP. Yeah. Nice. And we also bait out a Tinkaton. Not really a bait out necessarily, but also it's not bad to just land a Heat Wave here. His Heat Wave's going to do a lot of damage. It should put them into a range where his Sand Tomb should knock him out. And they do have to go for a Gigaton Hammer to KO us. Nice, that's a lot of damage. Whoa. I don't think that's worth it on their part. They CMP the Gigaton Hammer, so they're at 11. So that means 4 after throwing this. I feel like that's a little bit of a misplay. I'll no-shield this. Even if they undercharge, I don't even know if they can properly undercharge this to, like, not kill me. It's such a strong move. 5, okay. Well, we all know at this point that's only a Bulldoze. I do survive this, and I can get to back-to-back moves before I knock this out. Big Bulldoze. They get the defense drop, of course. 50% chance happens every time, right? But we can go for the Sand Tomb, and if they go for the shield, we have a second one. If they no-shield, we can likely debuff the final Pokemon, or it's an Azu, and like even if we don't debuff them, it doesn't matter. Because Empoleon's just kind of sick. It's disgusting, right? Empoleon's just so gross. Oh, dude, nice catch. They wanted to have some revenge after my Earthquake catch, I suppose, but I think that's totally fine. They probably feel it in their bones right now that there's no way a Flygon user doesn't just have a Steel type in the back, but they're playing it out. Not for long, probably, though. Well, they're still playing it out, actually. You know, fair enough. But 2 Drill Pecks, especially after that Sand Tomb debuff, will definitely knock him out. And then either we get his shield, I guess, if they really want to play it out, or we win at some point, eventually. This might be the limited edition Earthquake Azu. If that's the case, we lose by no-shielding this. Just a Hydro. Just a Hydro. Yeah, we just go for the farm down, I suppose, at this point. That'll save both of our times. But... or not. Okay. You know what? If I end up not knocking them out with that, I'm throwing a Hydro Cannon. And they better shield this. Yeah, you're wasting my time, I'm wasting yours. Alright, Hydro Cannon. Shield? Oh, let's go, Shield KO. I'm glad they did that. I wanted to see the Shield KO. Okay, next opponent. We'll see Shadow Flygon into Shadow Excadrill. Oh boy, I mean, if this is on Mudshot, then this is a dominant matchup. On Mudslap, it's probably more neutral than it has any right to be. Okay, well, that's an amazing counter swap. As long as we end up avoiding like a Mudslap Excadrill into our Empoleon, or if we just get 2 shields down, no matter what happens this game, I'm in a pretty good spot. And Togetic is not just good into Altaria, it is also good into that Excadrill, right? Because Heat Wave would just one-shot him. Excadrill might just be one of the squishiest Pokemon in this meta. We'll go for the Dazzling Gleam, guarantee a shield. This is one of those spots, once again, where having Psyshock would be a lot worse. This is why I like having it as just a hard Dragon answer. Honestly, not getting the knockout might even just strictly be better for us, too. It allows a Sky Attack to come through, which puts us into just an easy farm down range or something, but it also makes it so I have back-to-back charge attacks coming out of this, probably. But what do they bring in? Well, that's not really an answer. They're gonna have to shield their Giratina, and that's not great for them. Okay, it's this Giratina as well, so it's the bulky one. We'll go for the Drill Peck. And I guess we'll see what they do. Giratina could put in a little bit of work this game. I don't love that necessarily, but I think we're still in a pretty good spot. They let that go, makes sense. 11, alright. I'm gonna shield this just because I do want to get rid of this Giratina if I can. Okay, they go for the Shadow Sneak there. And they do CMPS as well. I kind of don't want to knock this out, actually. Like, I want to put them low, but I don't want to KO, so I'm going to undercharge this a little bit. Yeah, that's perfect. Because this way, now I should be able to switch out, and if they want to swap out, then they have to waste their catch opportunity on that. I just don't want to give the Excadrill a chance to be up in energy. Yeah, this should be game over now. It is Mud Slap, actually, which is a little bit worse for us. Just because that fast move pressure does add up a little bit more. Mud Shot would have been like just an easy guaranteed win, because we always outpace to the Sand Tombs. But like, this is still surely a guaranteed win, right? Probably should have gone for the farm down there. Hopefully that doesn't actually, matter. We'll see. The other two Pokemon are so low, though, right now. And Togetic should be able to Fairy Wind down. Oh, I mean, alt in 1 Sand Attack range. Yeah, okay. So we just get a full Flygon sweep, because why not? Oh, there we go. 5-0 set. Shadow Flygon. It's too good. Not just any Shadow Flygon. Sand Attack Shadow Flygon. 2963. We're making progress. Next game, we'll see Shadow Flygon into Shadow Fortress. If this is on Bug Bite, that's not great, but who runs Bug Bite Fortress in this meta? Okay, another one of these classic Altaria safe swaps. Not exactly the quickest counter swap by me, but it doesn't have to be quick. It just has to happen at some point. And we're once again in this spot where I'm really happy that my Togetic not only is able to be good against this, but I have Heat Wave for that Fortress later on. If I get Shield Advantage, I'm in a good spot. If I get Switch Advantage, I'm in a good spot. If I get Switch and Shield Advantage, I'm in a fantastic spot, so we'll see what they go for. Big Dazzling Gleam. Do we get the shield on this, or are they willing just to sacrifice this right now? I'm so happy with that, actually, because sure, they'll get another Sky Attack into us, right? But this Sky Attack likely just puts me into range where 1, maybe 2 Volt Switches knock me out, but I guarantee a Heat Wave into that Fortress as well. Like a little bit more damage here. They actually stopped tapping themselves. They didn't want to put me too low. Whoa. That was a fancy play. They peekabooed me. That's not nice. Although with Azu, can I not just bank another Heat Wave and then swap into Empoleon? Okay. Nice. GG's. Alright, next opponent. We'll see Shadow Flygon into... Whoa. Duraludon? I mean, they're a legend. They can have fun. They are having fun, even. I don't know what the moveset on Duraludon is. I would imagine it's really bad, because I know I didn't want to run it when it first came out. But I don't know exactly. Oh, they just farm us all the way down. Well, I wasn't expecting that. What's happening? What's happening? I haven't been commentating because I'm just, like, so dumbfounded by what I'm seeing right here. Like, what is happening? I unironically have no idea. I was gonna, like, try to catch an Iron Head on my Empoleon. I do shield that. They don't double Iron Bash us, right? They always superpower. I'm gonna shield this. Yeah, so they're at 4. So they have another one. 5, 6, 7, 8. Dude, I don't know. I don't know what to do. There's a Duraludon still. They bring in Duraludon. I mean, they had like 100 energy. I'm fine sniping this down, I guess? I don't know what to say about this battle. I feel like there's such a high chance I lose this game. Whoa. Whoa! Maybe not against this, though. Maybe not against that. I think I one-shot this. Yeah. And, like, Melmetal is not going to be able to one-shot us with a double Iron Bash. I'm so surprised with what I just saw here in this game. I don't even know what to say. I know this is someone who... Yeah, fair. I know this is someone who just hit Legend. Or is Legend, at least. So they're having fun. But that, I don't even know what Duraludon has. What are its charge moves? Okay. Alright, next opponent. Shadow Flygon into Altaria. Why? Why? I don't like this Pokemon. What I can do here is I can try to chip them down. Put them into range where a Twister's enough to knock them out. They do shield. What? Wait, why? Why? What? I was not expecting that. A shield there is huge for me. Like, a Twister does so much more damage than a Drill Peck. I'm actually really surprised by that. They must be really soft into our Penguin. And I'm fine with that. I like it when Penguins can pop off. I think I might just sacrifice my Empoleon here, though. But if they do save, like, even just a sliver of HP on Altaria, that can be a little bit frustrating for Flygon to deal with. Let's see what they do. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have gone for the Hydro Cannon here, but just in case they went for a catch, I did want to throw this, and either way, a Drill Peck wouldn't be enough to knock out. Although it would have, like, come a little bit closer. But I guess now we just get extra farm on Togetic. What did they have in the back that they were just so... Oh, it's just two fairies, probably, right? Is, like, Wigglytuff? Oh, no. That would maybe make sense. Don't show me two fairies, please. That'd be despicable. Show me, like, I don't know, Azu comes in or something. Waterfall Emp. Oh, it is Azu. Honestly, this might still be playable. Because I think Shadow Flygon here, even if this is on Ice Beam, I think Flygon can put in a lot of work, and maybe there's still ways through this. So now my sand attacks really start to add up, and Sandtomb here is not gonna, knock him out or anything. It might get his shield. I don't know, though. I gotta just try my best to leverage my Flygon throughout the entirety of this game. If I ever debuff the Empoleon, one Heat Wave should knock him out. Is this a Play Rough or an Ice Beam? For once in my life, they're running Play Rough. Okay. Okay. I think this is fine. I think this is very fine. Yeah, we win, right? I think I'm one sand attack away from my next Sandtomb. And they have to shield this. If they don't shield, they get farmed down. Or just one shot. Okay. Maybe I played that the worst that I possibly could have right there. Uh-oh. Surely not, though. Surely not, surely not. I didn't just throw, did I? I took the waterfall, and I shouldn't have taken that. Uh-oh. Wait, I just lost this game. Why'd I do that? I needed to throw the Heat Wave. Uh-oh. I threw him. That was the worst I could have done that. I lost. All right, next game. We'll see Flygon into Turtonator. Beautiful lead. I love to see this here, but my whole team has ways to deal with it, so... Oh boy, what is this? Just Florges, okay. I actually haven't seen too many Florges in this meta, so I didn't really know what Mono Fairy was going to be. Probably a Trailblaze. I don't know... Like, honestly, do you run Trailblaze in this meta, though? Yeah, you probably don't, because if you don't have Fairy-type damage, the Dragons actually give you quite a bit of trouble. So, yeah, it makes sense. I'm going to Hydro here. They actually overfarm just a little bit, but that's really nice for me, because that means I can win CMP and have even more energy coming out of this matchup. I'll get 2 Hydro Cannons at the very least. Is there going to be a second Fairy in the back? There could be. I don't love that I'm going to give them, like, 20 Incinerates of energy, though. Like, that's a lot of Incinerates. They're at 3 right now. What do we do? Do 2 Incinerates even knock me out from here, though? Because if they don't, then I get another Hydro off? Okay, they actually do. But they're only at 4. Okay, we'll just catch whatever this is. Surely they didn't freaking overheat my Flygon. That'd be insane. Yeah, they Dragon Claw, so they're at 2. Okay, whatever. I think that's fine. They're actually just so weak to Flygon. That's crazy. They're just so weak to Flygon. They had Florges, I guess, for the Dragons. And that 2 shots, that's amazing. And they give me a second one. They don't even throw their move. I think we're fine, guys. I think at this point, this game is basically over. They'll go for a Parabolic here, but I can just shield whatever they throw. They might even be on, like, Discharge. I've seen some Discharge Dedenes in this meta for some reason. Now, it is parabolic, so, I mean, that actually makes sense. But as long as I shield and don't get one-shot by a player if I just win. They're only at 1 Dragon Claw right now, 3 Incinerates away from the next. Okay, we'll just knock this out before they can even, I don't know, threaten anything. That Turtonator's not going to be able to close out the game, so at this point, no matter what happens, as long as I tap my screen, I should have the win. And they're just in Sand Attack downrange too, so we'll take it. Interesting team. Next opponent, Shadow Flygon into Grimmsnarl. Okay, this is much more annoying than Morgrim, because if I was fighting a Morgrim right now, it's actually pretty easy to dance around as a Flygon, and, well, as an Empoleon more so, because I can safe swap Empoleon into Morgrim. I can't really swap it in to Grimmsnarl because of Power-Up Punch. But I can at least chip it down a little bit here with a Sand Tomb, and if they don't shield that, we can put them into farm down range. If they do shield, then, like, I don't know, I guess we're in a pretty fine spot as well. They're throwing energy here. I survive a foul play, though. They do throw the foul play, so smart play by them. Alright. This is a Power-Up Punch. I will shield this. Oh, let's go! Empoleon, 1 HP survive? Guess I should have gone for the Drill Peck here. But we win switch advantage against another fairy. Is there a third fairy in the back? That would be impossible. There's no way. Hydro and Drill Peck, they do very similar amounts of damage, and honestly, landing that chip damage is pretty good as well, just because 1 Dazzling Gleam, or rather 2 Dazzling Gleams, are not quite enough to knock out anyway. So they're on Ice Beam. Like, they'd at least build up to a Hydro Pump if they had it, right? Yeah, of course it's Ice Beam. That's just the moral of the story, I guess, today. Everyone's on Ice Beam Azu. I think at the start of the meta, Play Rough and Hydro Pump was by far the most common moveset to see. But yeah, we can 2-shot with Gleam. So either we get a shield here, or maybe a knockout. Really depends on how they value the Azu here. I think a Gleam's enough. Maybe they survive, though. If they survive, I'm sad. They actually do survive on 1 HP. I thought they'd actually get knocked out there. Surely it's, I don't know, a Turtonator in the back, and we just win. I don't know. I'm chipped down as Flygon here. Oh, they're going to get an energy lead? Oh, wait, it actually is? But I have just enough energy here that I'm fine. I think I'm fine. I just go double Twister. I can win CMP, because I overperform by 1 Sand Attack against the Grimmsnarl. I do 4. Okay, well, if the game freaking lags like that, then I just do this. The freaking lag right there is a little bit annoying. But we are fine. We win CMP against this. They cannot catch yet. And we guarantee that Twister knocks out. And then we Sand Attack down the Azu? I think we're fine. I think we get the win. That was a really nice undercharge by the Azumarill, though. Yeah, Twister just KOs. Azu's like 1 HP. Let's go. GG's. Wait, was there even an Azu? Azu might have been knocked out by then. Because I might have just fairy win them down, actually. Anyway, that's still a 4-1. Okay. Okay, Shadow Sand Attack Flygon's actually kind of insane. Legend. They got back to Legend. Love to see it. I think Sand Attack's actually a pretty fun moveset here. It gives you that flexibility of the 1-turn move. You're a little bit slower than when you're on Mudshot as a Flygon, but that extra fast food pressure can come in clutch sometimes. Give it a go if you have one. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.